I must confess it, girl. And I like it. You send chills up my spine every time I take one look at you.
FightSaga.com presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.
Oh, reprise. Okay, well, guys, welcome. Happy Tuesday to everybody. And it is a great Tuesday evening indeed, guys. And if we're coming to you on Tuesday night, that means only one thing. We are being joined by elite level trainer and future Hall of Famer, the incomparable Coach Ronnie Shields. Ronnie, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Oh, guys, and I tell you what, if we're visiting with Ronnie Shields, that means my partner in crime is going to help me, well, host the show. And that is the one and only J.R. Bell from the Boxing Source. J.R., how you doing, sir?
All good. Just getting ready for this weekend, man.
That's right. You go to Las Vegas, Nevada. Oof. Yeah, where are you staying, by the way?
Oh, I'll be at Planet Hollywood, actually, for the weekend.
Oh, you poor guy. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Last time I stayed at Planet Hollywood, I complained so much, I think they gave me free rooms for the next 2 years. But anyway, hopefully you don't have the same experience I did, brother. And I tell you what, guys, this is going to be, well, chock full of, well, everything boxing. We've got so much to cover. And guys, we need to pick the expert's brain on this. Coach Ronnie Shields, I tell you what, first of all, well, I think everything is encompassed with fact or fiction now, isn't it, James?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, let's then start with number one. Are you ready, Coach Ronnie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here it comes. Oh, come on now. There it is. Can you read that, Big James?
Here we go. IBF mandatory challenger in the heavyweight division, Filip Hrgović, unanimous decision victory over Zhilei Big Bang Zhang keeps getting more impressive with each passing day. Fact or fiction?
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. People starting to see now that Filip Hrgović is a really good fighter. And again, look, Zhang caught him on his worst day. He didn't catch him on his best day because, Philip's father had just passed and he wasn't over it yet. His mind kept wandering and, even in training. And I didn't really want to go through with the fight, but he did. He said, no, my father don't want me to fight. But yeah, absolutely, man. Every time Zhang fights, Philip's victory looks greater and greater.
Oh my gosh. Just ask the Juggernaut or, well, the Joyce. You're not. Holy cow. Just ask Joe Joyce and Frank Warren what they have to say about Zhilei Zhang right about now. Ronnie, but you predicted this. You told us this would happen, well, even months ago when this was announced. Were you the least bit surprised how things played out on Saturday?
No, absolutely not. I said the last show that it was going to end early because Joe Joyce is just too slow. He's too slow, and he stands right in front of you. He tried to do a little bit of movement, move more to the left, but he was running into the hook every time. He never saw the right hook coming, and that's what knocked him out. And you could see Zhang, he practiced on that. You saw that. I mean, he threw the left hand, stepped over, and as soon as Joyce made that step, he cracked him with that right hook, and it was over with.
Woo! That was brutal. I tell you what, it was a thing of beauty, though, Coach. Like, honestly, and how we set up that right hook, throwing those lefts to the body. Oh, It was a thing of beauty. And it's funny, they asked him after immediately following the fight in the press conference, well, so that was all fabricated nonsense, you saying that you were going to target that right eye again. Oh, yeah, that was just gamesmanship, and I knew he was prepared for that. And so slowly I was just trying to lower that guard. And as soon as he did, yeah, it was lights out.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. So the Big Bang, Zhilei Zhang, a lot of people seem to be rolling with this narrative that he's going to be considered too much risk for the reward from all the best fighters in the heavyweight division currently. But when we find out how well that pay-per-view did in China, I don't think he's going to be viewed by too much risk for the reward from what I'm hearing, Coach. On TikTok pay-per-view at $3.99 a pop, they did, from what I'm hearing, over 30 million purchases. How do you like that?
That's great. And that's really great. I hope he got a piece of it.
I tell you what, I hope he's interested in a rematch with Filip Hrgović. That's what I'm saying. Coach Ronnie, come on now. Can you say retirement could come early?
Oh, my God.
Oh, Chingao. I tell you what, though, congratulations to the Lane brother for sticking by there, man. When he went through that with Jerry Forrest and all of the health ailments that he experienced the last several years, congratulations to them not giving up on the Big Bang and for him proving his mettle. And I tell you what, the future definitely looks bright, even at age 40. Coach Ronnie, are we looking at the most dangerous heavyweight in boxing for at least the first 3 or 4 rounds?
Oh, without a doubt, man. This guy, man. I think people look at his age before they see the fighter. You can't look at the age, man. This guy, he has so much experience, even through the amateur ranks, Olympics. Went to the Olympics, won a bronze medal. Look, this guy, he's dangerous, man. He is. He's a dangerous fighter.
Actually, I thought it was
now.
I think both him and Joyce had a silver medal, didn't they?
I thought he had a bronze. I'm not sure. He could have a silver, but I'm not sure. Because it was like
I think
2008 or something like that, right?
Yeah. He had the silver in 2008, and Joe Joyce had the silver in 2012. The London. The subsequent Olympic Games, right?
Right.
Speaking of Olympics, Coach, Manny Pacquiao, 2024 Olympic Games in France. What say you? Good or bad for amateur boxing?
I don't know, man. I really and truly, I don't know, because the thing about it is amateur boxing is so different. And Manny, he's a very active guy in the ring. But when you get to the amateur boxing, it's different. The scoring is different than it is in the pro boxing. So, and these kids throw a lot more punches in amateurs than they do in the professionals. So, it's going to be different for him. So, but, Manny can punch. And that's the thing that's always been in his favor. He's such a good boxer, but he's also a good puncher. So that can help him. But, but we just don't know, who the amateur guys are these days, because they don't get no publicity from no country, actually. And, I just don't know anybody in the amateurs right now, because they're not showing anything.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's a problem in the U.S. market. And let's just face it, there are already celebrities in the other countries, right, that are going to be competing in the Olympics, and we just don't know about them. Once again, unless you have amateurs and are competing in these. And once again, they changed the rules so that professionals from every country could actually compete in the Olympic Games. Now, what's to stop a guy like Jaron Boots Ennis from competing as well? And if he does, well, then Manny's in trouble. Jeez.
But, what the thing about it is, man, it's, boxing has changed in amateurs than from before. It used to be an honor to fight for your country.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's kind of changed a little bit for so many fighters, because, you don't get paid, but you win the gold medal. It used to be you win the gold medal and bam, everybody's jumping on you on the boat.
You're a celebrity already turning pro. Yeah.
But now, if you're already a pro and a celebrity, what good is going to do for you? to go out and win the Olympics. You know, and there's no names out there. You know, there's no names. So, but back in the day, in the 76 to 80 to 84, you know, the 92 Olympics, it was names back then. You know, big countries had names, you know. Now you don't know anybody. You don't know who is who.
Well, I tell you what, getting back to the Joe Joyce, Joe Joyce, Big Bang, Zhilei Zhang prize fight this past Saturday, the rematch. Big James, brother, what's next in your mind for the Big Bang or for Joe Joyce?
Oh, for Joe Joyce, I do not know, man.
Thank you. That was the answer I was looking for.
I was gonna say a loser-leaves town match between Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois in a rematch.
Ronnie, how would you actually label? What would you put on the fight poster? Damaged goods? What?
Look, I read what Frank Warren said. You know, they sticking behind the guy. They don't think he's done yet. You know, look, and I agree. I think Dubois would be a great fight, and the loser has to retire.
A retirement match, just like Vince McMahon used to put on. I will say this, though, Ronnie. What I think is hilarious, right? I think that all these fans are complaining that, one loss shouldn't be a death sentence. Oh, and too many fighters that are unwilling to step in the ring with the best. Well, come on, you can't have it both ways. These same jerk-offs are saying, Joyce has had it. He needs to retire. You can't have it both ways, guys. You can't have it both ways. Ronnie, am I wrong about this?
No, you're absolutely right about it. You can't have it both ways. You know, look, Joe Joyce is a fighter, man. This is what he do. And, look, style matchups makes a big difference in the sport of boxing.
Indeed.
It makes a huge difference. So I would agree that I would think that, him and Daniel Dubois ought to fight. And, fight for, they could fight for anything. It doesn't matter. But I think the loser has to consider, look, if I can't compete with the top guys, then I have to give it up.
Yeah, look, and it's very difficult. And one of the reasons why, look, I will say this, though, and James, I'm sure you agree with me. It's going to be recognized. And once again, perception is everything, guys. Look at Filip Hrgović now. Oh, shit. Well, maybe he is a lot better than we anticipated. Look, at guys, perception is everything. Look at Jerry Cooney when he knocked out Ken Norton viciously, and everyone thought he was going to do the same with the champ who went life or death with Ken Norton just 3 years prior. And what ended up happening in that fight?
Hey, again, styles make fights, man.
Yep, and perception is everything in this business. Guys, once again, judge slowly and don't treat someone, if they have a loss, like hot garbage. Come on, guys, judge slowly. And don't make it a death sentence. Follow your own advice. A loss to a legitimate badass like Zhilei Zhang is not a death sentence. This guy is all wrong for most heavyweights, unless your name is Filip Hrgović. So, guys, once again, a southpaw, a tall, rangy southpaw with fast hands, deep amateur background, heavy hands. Holy shit. Yeah, he's a nightmare for most. And guess what? Filip Hrgović won. He has a big win. I tell you what, we want to say hello to our brother Khalid. He says this, Coach. Yeah, I thought Zhang beat Hrgović, but a rematch would be nice. What do you have to say to that, Coach?
Well, it was a good fight, and it was a close fight, I thought. But, Hrgović won, but now you don't go backwards. You go forward. When you rank number 1 in the world, you want the prize now. You want to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. And he's a mandatory for that by the IBF.
Yep.
So, going backwards doesn't make sense.
Yep. And I tell you what, Coach, any update on Eddie Hearn trying to get that fight for Filip Hrgović, his fighter, against Alexander Usyk? Because there have been rumblings that Usyk is, well, trying to make that fight happen with Tyson Fury. I don't know how successful they're going to be, because to be honest with you, after this showing with Joe Joyce and after all of the success that they're going to, and it's going to come out very soon, guys, in an article penned by yours truly, the numbers from China, okay, with all of those numbers, and with Tyson Fury saying, hey, I want to make the Forbes list. Yeah, I think that Tyson Fury is going to want to put forth that huge, mammoth pay-per-view fight with Zhilei Zhang instead of Alexander Usyk. What say you, sir?
Yeah, I agree, man. Because he always talking about money anyway. So hey, there it is.
So I tell you what, Usyk, get ready for the Croatian sensation. Come on now. Woo! Woo! James, do you have anything to add to that, brother, or put a button on this topic?
Well, yeah, like you were saying, we need to look ahead to, Filip Hrgović getting that world title shot. I think that, we should push to try to have that either before the end of this year or early next year. He needs to, be there as the, IBF mandatory. And you know how the IBF does when it comes to mandatory. So
come on, Daryl. Come on, baby. To anyone who doesn't know that reference, I'm referring to Daryl Peoples, the very, very good Daryl Peoples of New Jersey, and that IBF sanctioning organization. And once again, we're hoping that he does the right thing, and he usually does. So come on, Daryl, let's go, baby. I tell you what, we want to welcome Leonard Ellerby. Leonard Ellerby to the show. He says Bumnello's getting stopped this Saturday. First of all, Leonard has much more respect of Canelo than what you're displaying right now. So we know you're not Leonard Ellerby. But he does believe this. Yep, Tank is a star. And James, you found out some news, right, regarding Tank Davis?
Yes, according to Mr. Tank Davis, as he posted on his Twitter account, what was it, about an hour or a couple of hours ago, that he is planning to return in January instead of December, as some had projected that he would return in December. But he said January to kind of take some time off, personal time off. So he pushed it back a little bit. So it'll be similar to what happened this year, him fighting in January of 2024.
Yep. From what I'm hearing, they're targeting right on Paramount Plus, baby. They're targeting on Paramount Plus, and it's going to be the final Saturday of January. That means the week after the championship game weekend and the weekend before the Super Bowl. So it's the final Saturday in January. That makes sense, right, Ronnie?
It does.
The Saturday before we see the Cowboys whoop some ass in the Super Bowl this year. Yes, I said it. That's right. So anyway, we want to give a big shout out to your former fighter, Evander Holyfield. What up, y'all? Shout out to you, my friend, and thank you for supporting the coach on this beautiful Tuesday. Also, my brother Bruce, Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother Bruce. He does a great job, great boxing historian. Thank you for supporting the coach on this beautiful Tuesday. So are you ready for the next fact or fiction, Big James, Big Ronnie?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Replacing this.
Oh, hold on, man. I forgot all about the intro. Let's do it.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction.
We ain't ducking or dodging nobody.
Yeah, thank you, Floyd, and thank you, Big James. Let's do it. Number 2, sir.
Here we go. The recently announced Prograis versus Haney bout on DAZN pay-per-view will attract 50 to 60K purchases, with over 3 million tuning in via illegal streaming. Fact or fiction?
That could be a fact.
Oh, boo.
That
Coach,
happens
this
all the
is
time.
Coach, this is a real problem, guys. And if you're wondering why, well, there's going to be no more Showtime Championship Boxing or Showbox in 2024. Well, this is why, guys. You chose, and we warned you guys. Ronnie, we've been warning everyone for the past 2 years that something has to give. You have to start subscribing, start financially supporting your beloved boxing, or guess what's going to happen? Yeah. So now we're going to Paramount Plus with just a distribution deal, and the days of the hefty guaranteed purses are long gone, guys. And who do you have to thank for that? Well, I'll tell you. You guys, as well as the prize fighters who don't want to give an inch regarding their hefty pre-fight demands. And we've been telling you for the past 2 years that something has to give. Now, Ronnie, once again, the first time we mentioned this, correct me if I'm wrong, but we mentioned that, yeah, this was headed towards Paramount Plus. We mentioned that as early as 2 years ago now, didn't we?
Yep, absolutely.
And there it is, guys. So once again, we warned you, and here it goes. I tell you what, I think I'm most saddened, though, Coach, about the Showtime Championship Boxing and Showbox leaving, just ending programming after 37 years of just wonderful prize fights and giving prize fighters a platform. What are your thoughts on that, my friend?
Well, I mean, I think if that happens, again, I haven't heard anything about it, but if it's true, I mean, it's sad that Showtime is ending their showing fights, and then with Showbox, man, because Showbox is really, really good for the up and coming fighters that people really need to see that's coming up, and they're the future of boxing. And
Yep.
so many fighters have fought on Showbox. And I mean, everybody that's a world champion right now, more than likely has fought on Showbox. And, it's just a way for people to see these up and coming stars. And again, world championship boxing on Showtime, man. You can't beat that, man. It helps so many fighters to get known and to show the people, that they work hard, they fight hard, and there's so many great fights that's on the network. So hopefully, man, that something can turn this around, and they say, you know what, we got to keep this thing going.
Well, I'll tell you what can turn around, guys. You guys subscribing to Showtime rather than streaming it illegally. I can't stress that enough. We've been stressing it for 2 years, guys, and you still haven't gotten the memo. Look, are you waiting for boxing to be reduced to the club and regional level exclusively? Are you guys waiting for that to happen? Because I can tell you what, if you guys do not financially support your beloved pastime, that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay? Now, once again, this gentleman right here who's talking to you from his home in Sugar Land, Texas, right? Come on. It directly affects his payday. Come on, guys. I can't stress it enough. You guys are the real bosses of boxing. So cut the shit. Come on, guys. You guys affect everything. I can't stress. Am I wrong about that, Ronnie?
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, people know what they do and know what they're doing. So it's not like, if you're a boxing fan, hey, pay for it like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Support. That's how you support the fighter.
I tell you what, Marvel Universe, Marvel Comics, their fans, I guarantee you, 90% of them probably subscribe to Disney Plus just so they can see their favorite Marvel shows or Star Wars shows. Okay?
Yeah.
I guarantee it. But I will say this, though. Piracy is not just affecting boxing. I wrote an article several weeks ago when this NFL season started that, listen to this, coach, almost 50% on average of NFL fans now stream these games out of market illegally.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Guys, it affects everybody. This is affecting everything, guys, and this is getting out of hand. Now, once again, we've been saying something has to give. Either these fighters or a combination of both. Either these fighters need to start being more reasonable with their pre-fight demands. And the reason why we're bringing this up in Prograis versus Haney, because come on, from what I've been told, that combined purse is approaching $8 million.
Oh,
Between two non-ticket sellers. That's why it's on DAZN pay-per-view. And guess what? What do you think the network suits are going to think when they lose money on this deal?
oh,
They're not going to be happy about boxing programming. Eddie Hearn just sold them a bill of goods.
whoa, whoa.
You have to understand how it affects the health of your favorite pastime. Come on now. So once again, this isn't just you guys. This is everyone involved. This is bad for the sport, bad for the health of the sport. Everyone needs to start working together in a collaborative effort, not only bringing the best matchups to the fans, but doing it at a more reasonable cost. Someone has to start looking out for the network investment. So I tell you what, now going back to the Zhilei Zhang thing, is TikTok pay-per-view the future of boxing in America at only $3.99?
Sounds like it.
Tell you what, either that or we're going to have to start looking at YouTube pay-per-view somewhere down the line. Chingao. I'll tell you what, guys. Hey, Evander Holyfield, thank you, man. We appreciate it. I purchased Crawford. Thank you, brother. And it did quite well for Showtime. And we want to say thank you, Bruce, for hanging with us. He says, did I remember when they wanted to have a match at halftime? Hell yes. Imagine how much that would cost, though, the promoters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough money at I don't think there's enough gold at Fort Knox, to be honest with you. So hold on. Bruce says this also. That technology, you ain't going to beat the net. Pay-per-view is going to go by the wayside as a payphone.
Like payphone, yep.
Well, I tell you what, then, something we have to find a solution, because the music industry is still trying to figure out a way to make these artists money. There's a reason why the Rolling Stones just announced their new tour, and they're 80. There's a reason why they're still having to tour, guys, because they're not making money from their intellectual property any longer. That's a problem, guys. That's a problem. Well, you're preaching to the choir. Corporate sponsorship is what boxing needs more of. Okay, how do you suggest having or proving that without numbers to support it, Bruce?
Yeah.
And that's why Ronnie Shields is smiling. He knows it's easier said than done. Come on now. Oh, okay. G Funky Boxing. Yep, G Funky Boxing. Welcome to the show, G Funky. And once again, guys, that's my brother right there. Guys, please go support and subscribe G Funky Boxing. He's a great guy, and he's an honest journalist in the days of quasi-journalism. He says writers are praising the fact that Haney and Prograis are getting inflated purses. Yeah, and I'm going to call him out. It's Jake Donovan. Jake Donovan seems to be happy about this, completely clueless of the business of boxing. Yeah, I said it. I said it, and I actually like Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, once again.
Yo, I'm still stuck on what you said for those purses. That's more than what it was for Haney versus Lomachenko. And Haney versus Lomachenko was put on a much larger network as far as like reach is concerned.
Yeah. But look, once again, that's what happens when you have a used car salesman that is looking out for the best interests of his own pocketbook, not the health of the sport. That's what I'm saying, guys. Someone has to start being concerned of the network investment. Look back at the 80s. Boxing thrived on free TV. Yes. Guess what? Guess what decade that? How long ago were the 80s, James?
Oh, do I have to?
Yes, apparently, you have to give the math to Big Bruce because he seems to think that we can just go in a time machine and resort back to that immediately. Guys, we're so far removed to that now. And once again, you're talking about a time where we only had 3 big networks. How many channels are there now?
Well,
how many different factions? How many different factions do we have now competing for everyone's entertainment dollar?
Not only that, the thing is, the 80s, you didn't have the quote unquote major sports anywhere near to what they are right now.
Right.
Yep. Guys, this is a problem. So now that boxing is a niche sport, it really doesn't do anyone any good by rubbing our face in it. Hey, boxing was thriving in the 80s. That means nothing to us at this time, but we want to thank you. Look, and Low Clarity has a beat. Welcome to the show. We didn't even have the Simpsons yet. That's right. That's absolutely right. Oh boy. So let's go. Let's move on, guys. We could go on and on about this dilemma, and we're at the 30-minute mark. So let's move on and get an update on Big Jermall Charlo. Here it comes. Big James, number 3.
Here we go. Number 3, real quick. Jermall Charlo will be facing Jose Benavidez Jr. in his next fight. Fact or fiction?
I'm gonna put it this way: it's a strong possibility.
I tell you what, we're just happy that Jermall's in a good place, and he is now ready to resume his place as current WBC middleweight champ. Woo, woo, woo. I'll tell you what, Coach, can you give us an update on how Jermall is doing, sir?
Jermall is doing great, man. We started back training, and you know, a matter of fact, I had one of my guys spar with him today. Matter of fact, and you know, he's doing great. He's feeling good. You know, he's just ready to get back to work and get back in the ring.
Tell you what, it's long overdue, but thank goodness. I tell you what, and I tell you, deserves a big shout out. And he's been under fire, but he's been unwavering in this process. Is Mauricio Suleiman for not rolling with the trend of the Let's Strip Jermall Charlo campaign. He understood everything that was happening. And you have to say this, like him or not, okay? But on a personal level, Mauricio, a lot like his dad, Jose, is a good man and understands these are human beings, not just rock'em sock'em robots. These are human beings that we're dealing with. Talk about this. And here's the big question, Coach Ronnie. Is he going to resume his career at 160, or is he preparing for the Cinnamon Boy? And will this fight be at 168?
Well, if you're talking about him and Canelo, yes, it would have to be at 168, definitely. But right now, he's not thinking about that. You know, he's hoping his brother is victorious on Saturday night. He's just worried. I mean, he's just concentrating on being the best Jermall Charlo he can be right now, and get himself back in position to where he was. He want to get right back in there. So, so we, like I said, we're just working right now. We're working on a few things, and he's feeling great. He boxed today. He looked really good doing it. He felt great. So, you're gonna see the old Jermall Charlo real soon.
That's it. We love it, Coach. We can't wait, brother. But he is going to be in Vegas this weekend now, isn't he?
Yes, he's going up to, of course, he's going up to support his brother. Absolutely.
And there it is. It's a perfect segue into number 4, Big James.
Here's number 4. Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan will win a controversial majority decision victory over Jermall Charlo this Saturday night in Vegas. Fact or fiction?
Look, I think it's fiction. I really truly believe Jermall has a great chance to win this fight. I really do. But again, when you go back and you look at a lot of Canelo fights, and for me personally, just being in whenever Sunday Law fought him, I know we had to win rounds wide in order to win the fight. And you're not going to get close rounds against a guy like Canelo Alvarez. That's just not going to happen. So you have to, your defense has to be just as good as your offense when you're fighting a guy like Canelo. And look, Canelo's a great fighter. And I think so many people are sleeping on the fact that this guy's career is over. No, it's not. It depends on how you grow and how you fight this guy.
Yep.
You can't just go in there and say, "Oh, I'm just gonna go toe to toe with him." No, that's a huge mistake. That's a huge mistake because you're not gonna bowl over a guy like Canelo Alvarez. You have to be smart. Has he slowed down? Absolutely, he slowed down. I think he admitted it today that that he said, "No, I'm not the same I was 10 years ago." No, that's not the same Canelo. But the guy is dangerous. He's a very smart fighter, and you have to not overpower him. You got to outsmart him, and he's a student of the game.
James, do you have anything to add to that, sir?
Well,
Or anything to ask Coach Ronnie?
In reference to it being 10 years, I was just reflecting back because it's been over 10 years, and I still have that press kit from Mayweather versus Canelo 10 years ago.
Yep.
And so here we are. Like fast forward, now we're here at 2023, and we've seen the previous performances from Canelo Alvarez, but like you said, from a strategic perspective, and you said this earlier. That you just can't go right at Canelo. That's a recipe for disaster. Pretty much you're walking right into him. Somebody that's a counter puncher that doesn't really move all too much, but he makes the most out of everything that he does. So if you're gonna come right to him, he's gonna make sure he gets those things.
So James, you mentioned something earlier regarding Coach Ronnie's conference call that you were privy to listen to. Could you have? Oh, well, we just lost Coach Ronnie. Oh, here he is. Here he comes.
Oh, he just put it back on.
Oh, shoot. Here we go.
There we go.
All right.
Now.
There it is. There it is. Welcome back, Coach Ronnie. So, James, is there something you'd like to bring up to Coach Ronnie?
Oh, in reference to that conference call, he was there, with other coaches, trainers like Coach Calvin Ford. You had Garcia, on there.
Bob Santos.
And Bob Santos.
Yeah, your friend Bob Santos. Yeah, that is a brilliant coach as well. Yeah, and he also helps you with Dave Morrell, doesn't he?
Yep.
He doesn't help me with David, but he works the corner with me. But
there it is. Yeah.
So I mean, they definitely dropped a whole lot of knowledge there in that conference call. What was that, a couple of weeks ago, and they were able to do a lot of keys to the fight in reference to both of those fighters, and of course, Coach Ronnie was able to share that there along with Coach Calvin. Coach Bob and Coach Rob Garcia. So,
well, you said something interesting though during that conversation, Coach Ronnie. You stated something that most people overlook, and that's don't forget about Canelo's body.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nobody goes to this guy's body. So and that's what I'm saying. You have to devise a plan that gives you an opportunity to get there. I'm not saying you have to run in and jump on him and try to hit him in the body. No, you got to be smart. You got to still be on the outside, but then you got to sneak punches in and try to touch this guy in the body, because we really don't know what kind of, how does he really take body shots? We don't know that because nobody goes to his body.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Why do you think that is, Coach Ronnie?
because he hits hard.
And yeah, when you're in range to go to his body, well, you're in range for a hard counter.
Yep.
Easier said than done. But I will say this, though. I think you're maybe onto something. But can I say, and once again, I think, now, do you remember how Jermall used to fight when he was under your tutelage?
Yep.
Smart boxing, stick and move. Use your feet as the foundation of your defense. Don't sit on the ropes. Constantly give your opponent a moving target. Does Jermall need to resort back to the Ronnie Shields school of stick and move to be successful in this fight?
To tell you the truth, I think that's his best opportunity. You can't get greedy when you find a guy like Canelo, but you have to do enough to impress the judges. And sometimes that's not easy to do, but
No.
it can be done. If you look at Bivol, he did that.
Yep.
He did everything, but Jermall isn't Bivol. He's different, but he's faster, and his power grows as the rounds go on. So he can get if he can get out of the first 5-6 rounds and at least be even on the scorecards, he has a great chance to win the fight.
Do you smell that, James? Do you smell that, brother?
Now, you know what my key to the fight is.
I smell an article from that last statement. That was a thing of beauty, Ronnie. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. In my pocketbook, thanks you, brother. So, you know what? I will say this. I think we are going to be treated to a very, very entertaining fight on Saturday. Win or lose, I think this is going to be a very successful night for both fighters. And I seldom say that, but I truly believe that both fighters are going to raise their stature after this performance. What say you, Ronnie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it depends on your game plan. So, we got to see what the game plans are. I know they both going to have a good game plan. So let's see who can stick with it, though. The thing about game plans is, if you stick with it and you believe in it, then it works for you.
How easy is that, though, Ronnie?
It's very difficult because you could game plan all day long, and something happens differently than what you game plan for. So you have to. That's why you have to have a backup plan. And you have to implement that. If Plan A is not working, you can't keep sticking with Plan A if it ain't working. Then you gotta try B or C. You got to. There's a lot of different things you have to do when you're training for a fight of this magnitude. You can't just do it one way, because if you're doing it one way, then that's the only way. If you're not winning rounds doing it one way, then you got to change something. Something has to change.
Yep, and Coach, you're the consummate professional, and you're an elite level trainer. As in football, there's a reason why they practice the onside kick. There's a reason why they practice the tip drill. In case you have to throw a Hail Mary, you have to be prepared for anything that comes up in that squared circle now, don't you?
No doubt. No doubt.
And that's it, guys. I am looking forward to the best version of both fighters in Saturday night's big main event. And I'm happy to announce, guys, that we're going to be staging a press conference for TMB Promotions before the event at Dave & Buster's on I-10 and 410, hosted by yours truly. And afterwards, we're going to watch Canelo versus Charlo on Showtime pay-per-view. How do you like that? So, guys, if you're in the San Antonio area, please come and say hi. I'll be the one with the microphone and the big mouth. How do you like that? So here we go. Number 5, I think we're on. Big James?
Yep. Here we go. Number 5. Okay, I'll shorten it up here. Canelo versus Charlo on Showtime pay-per-view will attract between 700 and 800,000 pay-per-view purchases. Fact or fiction?
I think it's fiction. I think people are going to really buy this, because, they want to see what Canelo really has left. You know,
Mm.
they saw him lose and come back and beat Triple G again, but they really want to see what he has left because people love Canelo. They still want to support him, and I really think he's going to have a lot of support. You know, and Jermall, with the limited fans that he has, I really believe that they think that Jermall is going to give him some problems. So everybody's going to want to tune in and see this fight.
Well, I tell you what, Coach Ronnie, did they? Now I understand because of the economics, because of the huge live gate they're trying to get, and that can only be garnered in Las Vegas, Nevada. I understand that, and that's the reason why it was put in Vegas, and they moved the date to September 30th. But would this fight have done better with the amount of mainstream press attached to this if they had held this in Houston, Texas, where Jermall has a big following in the fourth largest metropolitan area in the United States, in front of 7 million people? Now, keep in mind, Houston, guys, I'm going to repeat that. Houston, Texas, the metropolitan area, has over 7 million inhabitants. Would this have created much more noise leading up to this pay-per-view?
Well, I really believe it would have. Really and truly, it would have. But still, you know, boxing is a business. You got to go where the money is. You
Yeah.
have, not to say that it would have did a lot. It would have did a lot. But in Vegas, you have to go with the for sure thing. You have to go with the upfront money, that you can't turn down. It's hard to turn down a lot of upfront money. People want to, everybody want to see this fight. So
Yeah.
whether you buy it on pay-per-view, or you go to the fight, it doesn't matter. I think if they did good in both places, but
Mm.
but the upfront money, man, you can't turn it down.
Yeah, you cannot. You cannot. It's very difficult to say no to that. Yeah, and Vegas is where the big dollars are. Here we go to number 6, Big James.
All right. Mario Barrios will become the interim WBC welterweight champion by outpointing Yordenis Ugas this Saturday night. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Ronnie, please tell me I'm dreaming that this is for the interim WBC welterweight championship.
Well, that doesn't mean nothing. What does interim mean? Nothing. Doesn't mean anything.
Oh, chingate.
Interim champion, regular champion. My guy David Morrell been regular champion for 2 years now. What does it mean? Nothing. It means you got to do mandatories. That's what it means.
Oh,
Simple. But
boy.
let me tell you something. Mario Barrios is a good fighter, but so is Ugas. Now, I think this Barrios is catching him at a great time because we don't know what Ugas has left. But his last fight, you saw the last fight.
Of course.
We just don't know what he has left. So, and Barrios, he's a good fighter, but and I'm sure him and Ugas probably have sparred before, both training in Vegas. So, so they probably kind of know each other a little bit. But, I think it's going to be a good fight. But I'm leaning toward Ugas because of the experience that Ugas has had of being a real world champion. Barrios was like an interim world champion before or whatever.
Yep.
He had.
Yep.
And so, but when you get into these big fights, and let me tell you something, man, this is one of the best cards I think
Yes, sir.
boxing have had in a very, very long time. I mean, every fight that's going to be on pay-per-view is a great fight.
Yes, sir.
You can't ask for a better card than something like this, man. They really went all out and did this card. And every guy has an opportunity to win.
Yep.
In each fight. So, and Barrios has just a better chance, just like Ugas has a good chance. So I think all the fights are going to be really good. And, and we may get a surprise or two out of some of these fights, but but I still think while the fights are happening, it's going to be a really good card. But as far as this fight here, Barrios, you know, you have a tendency when you fight the top guys to to slack a little bit. And why is
Mm,
that? I don't know.
mm,
Like when he fought Tank, you know, I really gave him a good chance in that fight. So I just thought his height and reach would be what would help him out a lot. But Tank closed the distance on him, and I know Ugas is going to take a lot of that from what Tank did. And
mm,
so, and Ugas is probably the stronger fighter in this fight,
mm.
because Ugas had been there for a while. Barrios, why he was a big fighter at 135 pounds. He was finally fighting at a weight where he's supposed to be. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I don't think his strength is I don't think he's as strong as Ugas. And Ugas is smart, man. He's been around. He has a lot of amateur fights, and and that plays into these fights that these guys are fighting now. And I really and truly believe that I think it's going to be a close fight, but but I'm a favor Ugas in this fight.
Well, I will say this, something that most media members, and this is for you, James, you're going to be in Vegas tomorrow. Um, Something that most people don't pick up on, and everyone who's been in the business for a while, they understand this. Cuban trainers are just as competitive as their fighters. You've got Bob Santos versus Ismael Salas, who's coming off a big loss. And I tell you what, they've been talking shit this entire time ever since. And you know this, Ronnie. So, guys, the plot thickens. Who's going to win? Bob Santos, who's coming off of Trainer of the Year honors over, Ismael Salas. James, who do you like in this?
I mean, this one's a tough one to pick to me. I'm really, curious as to the level of where your Dennis Ugas is at this point of his career. I think he really, took some real punishment in that fight against Errol Spence Jr. last year. And I think that's going to be a factor here in this particular fight against Mario Barrios, even though Barrios is, coming up from, 140. He's had a couple of fights here at 147, trying to get acclimated to the weight. And, he's kind of, been up and down as far as, like you said, with the 135, 140, 147. But I think he feels a little bit, comfortable here at 147 pounds and going up against someone like your Dennis Ugas, where, he does, have the mobility to, give Barrios problems, but I don't think he necessarily has the power behind him to give Barrios problems. So if Ugas doesn't have, as much mobility as he used to have, he might be in some real trouble here against Barrios.
Yeah, I tell you what, both guys are very smart. Both guys are prepared by two of the best trainers in boxing, Ismael Salas and Bob Santos. May the best fighter win. It's going to make for a very entertaining scrap on this. Like Ronnie pointed out, this is one of the best pay-per-views on paper that we've had all year, and very well could play out to be the most entertaining, bang for your buck on pay-per-view. I'll tell you what I'd like to thank, or I'd like to welcome Outlaw to the show. He says, I'd like to thank Canelo Promotions for this card. Well, go up and down and look at all of the Canelo Promotions fighters that you see.
Nice.
Okay, I'll wait. Yep. I think what you mean to say, I'd like to thank Tom Brown and Al Heyman for this card. We want to welcome you to the show, though. Thank you. And also, thank you, Outlaw, for being here and supporting the coach. And Rizas Sardonicus, how many times are you going to change your name, my brother? And he says, probably going to be more one-sided than that Spence joke of a fight, to be honest. Wow. That was harsh, brother. And he also says, Nello by KO in round 10. Okay, I only have one thing to say to you, my friend. USA, USA, USA. That's it. I tell you what, moving on, brother. Okay. And he says, well, without him, there is no fight card. Let's be real, JoJo. You are right about that. You are right about that, sir. Touche. So here we go to the next one regarding another fight on the fight card. Are you ready for this? Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Big James. Number 7. Yeah. Are we at number 7?
Yeah, I think this is number 7 here. Jesus Ramos Jr. will put forth the most impressive performance this Saturday night in Vegas as chief support for Canelo versus Charlo. Fact or fiction?
Man, this is going to be probably the best fight of the night. So I'm really torn on this fight, man. I really am, because this is going to be a great fight. Ramos can go, man. This kid, he is really, really good. You can't take anything away from this kid, man. And it's going to be a good close fight. I just got to see how good he handle fighting southpaw. So I haven't really seen him with a southpaw. So I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, Erickson Lubin, he's got the skill set, but I'm just worried about his chin, Coach.
He got the skill set.
He's got the crack in his shot too. Yep.
And he does. I've seen Ramos take some shots, but Lubin's chin is the only questionable about this fight. But here's the thing though. Lubin is such a good boxer when he stays on the outside and he boxes and he rips combinations and get out of there. If he can do that, he has a great chance to win this fight.
And Coach,
he can't get happy though.
Coach, can we say J-Rock 2.0?
Yeah.
Skill set off the charts.
Yeah.
That chin though. Damn. Yeah. Come on, man.
But, look, man, Lubin, man, I love this kid, man. I love him because I know how hard he worked. I know, just being around this kid, man, he's a pleasure to be around. He's a good guy. And, it's hard not to root for Erickson Lubin, man. It's really hard not to root for this guy, But Ramos is young, he's strong, he's smart. This is, man, oof.
Great fights. Great fights. Got Fight of the Year written all over it, guys. And remind us, Coach Ronnie, who is the WBC interim champion at 154? Who's going to be fighting Tim Tszyu in just a little bit?
Brian Mendoza.
Okay, so who does Jesus Ramos Jr. already have a victory over?
Mendoza.
Yep. Guys, once again, lights out. This is going to be a great, great fight. Now, a lot of people are deeming Jesus Ramos Jr. possibly being the next big American Hispanic superstar in boxing. Well, he has to get past Erickson Lubin first. This is a pivotal fight in both men's career. Look, I understand Mario Barrios versus Yordenis Ugas, arguably 2 title holders, right? Former title holders. There's a reason why this is still in the co-main event. Yep. Ramos versus Lubin. Guys, this may steal the show. Guys, this may steal the show.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Guys, it's going to be a great fight. Guys, buckle up. It's worth $85. Purchase it. Don't stream it illegally. Now let's move on to number 8. We're running out of time here with the coach. Yeah. Big James.
All right, here we go. Somewhere in Indio, California, Dimitri Bivol is thinking to himself, man, I should have taken Canelo's serious offer.
No. Here we go. Repeat it one more time, brother. I was breaking up a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. Somewhere in Indio, California, Dimitri Bivol is thinking to himself, man, I should have taken Canelo's serious offer. Fact or fiction?
That could be a fact. But, I think he probably do deserve more than what they was offering him, though. You know,
Mm.
and this guy, just like he's like Canelo thinking, right? Thinking about, I want to win more world titles, so I'm going to come down in weight. Canelo, no. I want to fight you at 175. I mean, it's so crazy, right? That this guy was willing to go down to 168 to fight Canelo. And I mean, and I just don't understand why Canelo wouldn't fight him at 168. I mean, that still baffles me. Why wouldn't he do that? Why he still wanted to fight at 175? And I understand why, because he wanted to be have all these belts at light heavyweight, like he do at 168. And I understand that completely, but still, Bivol should have just said, you know what? Okay, let's fight at 175. He's used to that weight. He could still, and it would have been a great fight. And I still think Bivol probably would have beat him.
Well, I tell you what. Look, I will say this. If you guys can still hear me, it looks like I'm having some connectivity issues right now, and hopefully I can get this rectified. Can you guys hear me right now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. I will say this, and the reason why I put in quotes is because for
We didn't hear none of that.
Yeah, now you're going in and out.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything.
Yeah, right now I don't.
No, he's gone.
Yeah, it looks like he is gone there. I don't know. He might have to move things and shift things around a bit, wait for him to get back on here. But Bivol, we did have this great showing against Canelo Alvarez. Was able to get the decision win, and he wanted to ask for a little bit more and fight Canelo at 168 for those undisputed titles. So Canelo. Canelo was like, nah, I'm all right with that. I wanted to fight you, at 175. I didn't want to, go there at 168 and defend those belts at 168 against you, So they ended up moving on. And now with Dimitri Bivol, he's not really, one of those guys that's an attractive fighter of sorts. So the thing about it is that now what's Bivol going to do? He pretty much might sit out for the rest of the year. So he hasn't had, no fight,
That's right.
So I'm like, now he's, staying with the world title and, pretty much there's nowhere to go.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Chingao. So I tell you what, let's move down, guys, and my apologies for all of that. Gee, wow, I wish I could go one episode without going through all of this nonsense. So we're going to move to number 9 very quickly because we have only a couple minutes left with the coach.
Yep.
So Big James, I love this one, by the way. So go ahead, James.
The rumors of Tank Davis facing Keith Once Upon a Time Thurman, what's up, dog? Were started by Keith Thurman's mother. Fact or fiction?
That could be a fact. I don't know.
Well, look, I can tell you with great certainty after speaking with some people involved that, it's not going to happen. Was never a possibility. And can you imagine, Coach Ronnie, how much Keith Thurman would be demanding if he were presented with a potential fight against Tank Davis?
Oh, my God. He always overpriced himself out anyway, so this would be crazy. It would be ridiculous.
Yep. Look, guys, the gravy train is over. Fighters, memo. The gravy train has long since come, like long time ago, came to a screeching halt. Why haven't you received the memo? If you want to fight, if you want to compete on the big platforms, please be more reasonable with your pre-fight demands, You may have gotten $5 million for facing Manny Pacquiao back in the day. How long ago was that? Was that 5 years ago, Coach?
Oh wow, at least.
Okay. Well, Keith, come on, brother. How much are you worth now? Market value is everything. And for those of you who are saying, well, your market value, you're worth as much as you're able to negotiate, a la Devin Haney. That's not true. So are you saying that Deontay Wilder is worth nothing now? Are you saying that Danny Garcia is worth nothing now? Guys, understand your market value and price accordingly, or you're going to be on the pine.
Yep.
You're going to be on the bench, okay? Or you're going to be on the shelf. Don't be like Frank Martin. Oh, shit. Did I just say that out loud? I'm sorry, guys.
That was going to be from my previous fact of fiction.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. My apologies, man.
We got to keep it moving. So, yeah.
Oh, boy. Chinga. My apologies, guys. But look. Tank Davis, he's going to be featured in the final Saturday of January against Isaac Cruz. Take it to the bank. It's not going to be Keith Thurman. That was only a rumor started by his biggest fan, his mama. Okay? That's it. So let's move to the final fact or fiction of the evening.
Yana Bekalema versus Vincenzo Gualtieri for the WBO and IBF Unified Middleweight Championship will be the lowest rated top-ranked broadcast of the year. Fact or fiction?
That could be a fact because I've never heard of this guy.
Look, I will say this. Following Chris Eubank Jr.'s very impressive victory over Liam Beefy Smith, someone from the press asked him, are you interested in fighting the winner of this fight? And he said, well, since I haven't heard of either guy, that means that most mainstream fans have never heard of this guy either. So I'm going to say no. But this is a unification bout, Coach.
Yes, but you know this kid. But this fight is going to happen in Roseburg, Texas.
Yep, that's right outside of Houston.
Yes, and they're going to actually use my gym for the week before the fight, or for the week of the fight, to train at my gym. They call me. You know, my guy called me already, who works for Top Rank, called me up and asked me, you know, were the gym available? I told him, yeah, absolutely, I'll make it available. You know, so I gave them permission they could use my gym. So that's going to be great.
Well, hopefully they can get a bit of clout chasing, and maybe someone else besides their immediate family will have heard of them.
So, you know, I know Janabek really well.
Yep, great fighter, excellent fighter.
I've never heard of this other guy. And how did this guy get the IB? Oh, that's right. Okay, I know.
That says it all. That says it all, brother.
I remember that.
That says it all. Wait a minute. Isn't Vincenzo Gualtieri, isn't that one of the Sopranos? Oh, shit.
Better hope not.
Oh, Chingao. Yeah, or else Tony's going to be waiting outside after he whoops his ass.
Right. That's right.
Dude, I will say this. Let me do this for Ronnie real quick. All right. So G Funky says, yeah, do your Jesus Ramos in your Pat Summerall voice. And I will say this just to bring up a blast from the past. My favorite commentator all time for the NFL was always Pat Summerall. And probably because he was very partial to the Cowboys. He lived, God rest his soul, outside of the Dallas area, right? And he always got away with saying as little as possible for the play-by-play, right? And it went something like this, right? Aikman to Irvin, touchdown, Cowboys. So in the co-main event of the evening, you're going to see Jesus El Mono Ramos Jr. taking on Erickson Lubin. And your co-main event of the evening, supporting Canelo versus Charlo this Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view. And immediately following the game, it's going to be murder, she wrote. And there it is. And there it is.
Well, Pat, that Jesus Ramos guy is a great character. I mean, he's going to step in the ring and then boom, he's going to hit him with the left. No.
Hey, Pat, do you have a sandwich on you or something? That Brett Favre, he's something special, I tell you what, I love me some NFL, I love me some Pat Summerall, and I love me some Cowboys. But, guys, purchase this damn pay-per-view. Speaking of which, and I haven't talked about this yet, so we're going to close this out. And once again, Coach Ronnie, you survived this week's edition of Fact or Fiction. Thank you, sir. And thank you, James, for being the gracious host and counting off all the Fact or Fiction prognostications. I will say this, though. Can you give us an update on your prize fighter, your badass Cuban at 154, who was helping Canelo prepare for Jermall Charlo? And he had a little accident during training. How is he doing? And I'm referring to Yoenis Diaz.
Yes. He's doing better. Matter of fact, he left to go to Miami to go to a doctor there because he hurt his knee running in the mountains with Canelo. So he's doing better. And we're going to find out probably tomorrow when they do the MRI on his knee. So I'm just waiting to hear how, if everything is going to be okay.
Yeah. And look, I did hear through the grapevine also that Golden Boy Promotions, and there's no shock to anyone, right, that they're trying to set up Floyd Schofield Jr. versus Jojo Diaz. But they just announced that I think it's going to be on the undercard of Ryan Garcia's big night on November 18th. In the co-main event, it's going to be Floyd Schofield. And underneath that, it's going to be Jojo Diaz, recently signed, versus Ricky El Castigo Medina Jr. What are the chances of an upset there, Coach?
It could be. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I love this matchup. In my opinion, this is a great job of matchmaking. Very entertaining fight. We'll see what happens, guys. But, Coach, an update on Floyd Schofield? Is he getting ready to resume camp? Or
I'm not sure, man. I haven't spoken to anyone yet. So I'm not sure. I've been busy taking care of the guys that I have down here. So
very good. I tell you what, James, do you have anything for the elite level trainer, Ronnie Shields?
Well, I did have a question in reference to one fighter that maybe you were possibly working with. Do you know much with Paul Crowe?
Yes, Paul Crowe is with me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just was just confirming that he was out there. Of course, he's a fully fighter out there, and he's had a good number of battles. He's had a recent bout where I think he ended up in a draw on one of those recent Showbox telecasts. So
I think his last two fights was on Showbox, and he had 2 draws. Absolutely. Yep.
So.
My apologize, guys, for someone's car alarm just going nuts while I'm out here on my patio. My apologies, guys. But hard times, welcome to the show, sir. And yes, hoping for a very healthy recovery for Coach's fighter, Yoenis Diaz. Be on the lookout for him. And yes, Outlaw, you've got the beat. That's a solid fight, brother. That's a solid fight. And we want to welcome our brother at the end of the show, or Larry Liston, W.A.W. He says, well, Harry Davies, is he still fighting Barroso on that undercard on November 18th? Your guess is as good as mine, brother. Ronnie, do you have any info on that?
No, not at all.
Not at all. But I tell you what, let's just hope old man Barroso gets a fair shake this time. Chingao.
Man.
That was terrible. Do you remember Dalzim, James?
Yoga Flame.
I tell you what, guys. James, your parting shots for our listening audience tonight, my friend.
Just, of course, being thankful for being in another version of Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields. Here, big thanks to Coach Ronnie Shields for being on here with us, and of course the great host Joseph Heron with Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields here. And I guess y'all could check me out. What is it? I won't make the press conference tomorrow or the workouts tomorrow out there, but I will see if I could go live once I arrive in Vegas. But I will be there for the undercard press conference, the weigh-in, and the fight. So y'all tune in for that.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Big James, for helping us out tonight and for being the gracious co-host. And Ronnie, your parting shots for all of our extended War Week Radio family this evening.
You can always follow me at official Ronnie Shields on Instagram.
So, guys, in the immortal words of Pat Summerall, guys, on behalf of Big James from the Boxing Voice, on behalf of the incomparable elite level trainer Ronnie Shields, I'm Joseph Heron or Pat Summerall, and immediately following the show, it's the House of Buggin' on Fox. Guys, you've been listening to War Week Radio. Have a great evening, everybody.
I've been thinking about you for quite a while. You're on my mind every day and every night. My every thought is you. The things you do seem so satisfying to me. I must confess it, girl. And I like it. You send chills up my spine every time I take one look at you.
FightSaga.com presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.